Let's get you into some of the big news this week because gasoline and natural gas prices are firmer this week. Crude oil prices rise and fall in the market, week ending today, no thanks to the devastation of Hurricane Ida at the U.S. Gulf Coast. OPEC Plus do nothing meeting on Wednesday. They have economic data and the Delta variant. Wrapping up the global oil and gas week for us on the show tonight is an international journalist and natural gas analyst, Omono Okonkwo. A good evening to you, madam, from our Abuja studios.
Good evening, sir. Thanks for having me.
Great to see you. Thank you very much. It's been a very busy week for you who are oil and gas journalists. So was the OPEC Plus meeting, decision on Monday to maintain status quo on oil output, was it in line with your expectation?
Well, I don't think the policy of easing production cuts came as a surprise to anyone because way back in July, the decision was already taken to peg it at 400,000 barrels per day for oil. And I don't think any of the member states actually raised any motion for a change in their baseline production. So it didn't come as a surprise to me. I actually expected it.
Great, but do you see any major change in OPEC Plus position on output between now and the end of the year? What was decided in July was to start easing 400,000 barrels, as you said, from the month of August. Do you think anything would change significantly from OPEC Plus between now and December the 31st?
In my opinion, no. But the next OPEC meeting is for OPEC Plus meeting is for October 4. So let's wait till then and see how it goes.
Well, let's see how it goes. Looking at the market dynamics here at home in West Africa, the Italian energy giant Eni has discovered about 2 billion barrels per day oil reserves off the coast of Ivory Coast or Côte d'Ivoire. Should Nigeria be worried?
But there's something you left out. They also found estimates of 1.8 to 2.4, I think, trillion cubic feet of natural gas. So, well, should Nigeria be worried? I don't think so. I know when you ask, should Nigeria be worried, you're talking in terms of being the biggest holder, per se, of natural gas or oil resources in Africa. But to me, I think it's not necessarily about the resources you have. It's what you do with the resources you have and the infrastructure you're able to build around those resources. So I think industry stakeholders in Nigeria should focus on implementation. We have really great initiatives and policies, especially when it comes to transforming Nigerian economy to a natural gas-based economy. So we should focus more on implementation and also tackling of insecurity head on. You know, we need to attract investors. And if investors are worried about non-state actors, then we have a problem. So instead of worrying about what's happening in Ivory Coast, I think we should, now is the time for us to get serious, do what we have to do around implementation of our fantastic policies, of which we're already doing that, but we need to, you know, keep up with the rest of the world and you know, try to maximize as much as we can around these oil and gas resources we already have.
Well, I think so. But again, Ghana is next door producing oil and some gas. Now, if you have Ivory Coast, which is the third largest economy in West Africa, join the game, I'm not too sure if it's going to be the more the merrier, the way it is, because that means your crude oil buyers will have options. And where there are options,
yes.
Well, your competitiveness, now we have a big question on it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's why I raised the issue of insecurity. So you have to decisively tackle insecurity and non-state actors so that you, even as your competitive game is kind of shaky, you have something that investors can say, okay, yeah, let's go to Nigeria instead of Ivory Coast, because we have really fantastic advantages over here. But if investors or potential investors are worried about insecurity, then it's a minus for us. So I think this is the time for us to think about what is happening in Ivory Coast and use that as a backdrop to do what you have to do to make sure that investors are coming, not running away when you mention Nigeria.
Well, one other big story within the global oil market this week after the OPEC do-nothing meeting or status quo meeting was the Hurricane Ida and the US Gulf Coast. Do you think this hurricane issue will have a long-term impact on US oil production?
Yes, I think so, to some extent. Yeah, I was reading a report from the U.S. Bureau of Safety and Environmental Enforcement. They said 80% of Gulf of Mexico oil production and over 83% of natural gas output was either shut in or offline as of Wednesday, September 1. So I think before U.S. oil production can come back to where it was before, issues with flooding, issues with power cuts have to be tackled first. And that could take weeks.
So here we go with oil prices this week. Went up sharply, 70, 73, then came down. Just as we're talking about Brent, it's about 69 or so. What about gasoline prices with Hurricane Ida, with the Delta variant concerns? Are we seeing rapid increases in gas prices or gasoline prices around the world?
Yes, I think I wouldn't want anyone to confuse gasoline prices with natural gas prices. So when you talk about Hurricane Ida and gasoline prices, we already know that a lot of rigs and refineries have been shut down in the US, and that has affected availability of gasoline. So, of course, the prices will rise. And then let's talk about natural gas prices, global natural gas prices. Now, we have, in 2021, we have seen more natural gas domestic consumption beyond gas to power. You know, for the past for the past couple of years, it's been, oh, let's harness natural gas for power. But we're seeing more natural gas mobility, that's natural gas vehicles, and we're seeing more people make use of natural gas for industrialization. So that has contributed to natural gas prices. And then we also have seen more emerging markets for liquefied natural gas exports around the world. And China is one of those emerging markets because they are gradually phasing out coal and embracing natural gas. So, of course, LNG exports and, you know, going beyond gas to power, yeah, those are contributory factors to the rise in natural gas prices.
Okay, but between the natural gas prices, Hurricane Ida, gasoline prices, it looks like prices are moving up, broadly speaking, around the world. But let's give it a bit of a breather. Let's appreciate your time on the show tonight. Omono Okonkwo, natural gas analyst. See you again on the show.